Hey, what's up, Silver Stackers? Thank you for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. Folks, I put together a great video for you guys and gals today. You're not going to want to miss this one because I did something pretty interesting. Important information regarding the Perth Mint's sales report. And not just for September. September is where the end result is. That's what we're going to look at for the aftermath. It's going to expose a lot of what's happening in the investment sector because what I did was went back and looked at their July sales report. This is when things started rebounding for them. All of a sudden, they started getting strong sales in July, but then I pulled up their August report and see the jump from July to August when they finally rebounded, and now we're at September, so we're seeing month by month what the sales have been looking like. It also shows not only for the Perth Mint how their sales have been increasing dramatically, but what that compares to with other mints, as the US Mint sold 5 million ounces the first month of January. Now looking at, not even a quarter of that, not even an eighth of that. So something is happening, and it's looking like people not only are turning their backs on Eagles, but they're looking at these other mints as second options. And I'm curious to ask you, what type of silver do you buy nowadays? Do you buy generic rounds, or do you buy kangaroos, kookaburras? So in the investment world, we're in a very weird situation where adjusting and adapting is critical for our strategy. That's why I like asking you all. And I mean, the numbers don't lie. It's looking like a lot of people are turning towards Perth Mint because in the beginning of the year, Perth Mint wasn't getting any sales. It was mainly the US Mint. So let's jump into this. The link to this article will be in the description. Make sure you like the video. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe because I post daily silver stacking videos. And let's talk silver. Monthly sales report, September 2022. And this from the perthmint.com just got posted 3 days ago, so these numbers are fresh off the press for us to dissect. Silver coin output at the Perth Mint climbs to 5-year highs in September. The Perth Mint sold 88,554 troy ounces of gold and a 5-year high of 2,579,941 ounces of silver in minted product from September. The Perth Mint depository's total gold holdings decreased by 0.42%, and silver increased by 0.08% during the month. Try to tell that to the US Mint. Holdings in the Perth Mint listed ETF and gold holdings also decreased for the month, down 1.58%. Gold began September just under $1,711 per ounce in the face of a stronger US CPI data. Saw corresponding moves higher in the US dollar and 10-year treasury yields. The month's price action showed no sign of recovering from August sell-off, and that's obvious. So anyways, I like how they're actually giving a little bit of backstory of why the price is doing what it is. With continued speculation around the FOMC rate hikes, gold slid to a 2.5-year low, close to $1,643 before recovering slightly by the month's end. Now, this part is extremely interesting. Check this out. However, news was better for local investors. Thanks to the weaker Australian to US dollar pair, gold and Australian dollars recovered with a strong uptrend pattern in the second half of the month. Australian gold ended the month strongly, just above $2,599 Australian dollars. Silver began September just under $18 per ounce. Despite the post-FOMC meeting sell-off, it managed a positive finish to the month around $19 an ounce, or plus 5.7%. For local investors, this translated into an even more impressive result, with the price closing around 29 Australian dollars, 13%. So then they go into minted products, obviously mentioning 2.5 million ounces of silver. Minted silver products were sold. This is your kangaroos, your kookaburras, your koalas. And it's interesting because Perth Mint used to be, when I started, Perth Mint was the top of the line. It was a filet mignon in the silver world. Perth Mint never makes mistakes, right? They were the upper class, very fancy coins that were highly collectible, especially since the design changes every year. Kookaburras design changes every year, minted around 300 to 500,000 ounces per year. So very low mintage numbers compared to Eagles, which are, 13, 15 million up to 30 and 40 million a decade ago. So compare, an Eagle where the design stays the same every year, a very boring, bland coin, compared to a Kookaburra or even a Koala, where the design is constantly changing yearly, very, very fancy designs. You can see why Kookaburras are semi-numismatic coins. They grow a collectible value on top, but they were similar in price. And nowadays, it's crazy enough that Eagles are actually more expensive than the semi-numismatic Kookaburra. But regardless, when I started, Perth Mint was the top, and now it's seeming like over the past couple of months since July, which now we're going to jump into, people are kind of going back to their old ways. Now, the Perth Mint physical sales rebound strongly in July. This was written August 3rd, so they're talking about the previous month in July. All of a sudden, sales start to turn around. So, in July, the Perth Mint sold 79,305 troy ounces of gold and 2,465,513 ounces of silver in minted products from July. Their depositories decreased 0.14% in gold and declined by just 0.1% for silver in the month. So yeah, they kind of mentioned what happened. Silver faced similar mid-month struggle, starting the month above 20. It's also kind of cool since they post monthly reports. You can kind of see what the recap over the month of what happened. Gold to silver ratio was just under 87 to 1 in July. So yeah. Anyways, let's go into August. So the next month after that rebound happened. So it's looking like sales retreat. Wow, look at this. For gold, at least, not really. Perth Mint sold 84,976 ounces of gold, which it was only 79,000. Yeah, so gold actually increased, but for silver, they only sold 1,655,334 ounces. That's nearly 800,000 ounces less than what they sold the previous month in July, when gold actually increased in sales from July. So August was a very weird month. So initially, gold continued its recovery from July's 15-month low. And you can see that the markets continued to bet that the U.S. Federal Reserve would be less aggressive with interest rate hikes given the slowing U.S. economy. And then they saw hawkish Fed comments, which found gold to fail to find attraction as it slipped. Silver faced even a bigger challenge, starting the month just above $20.30. A massive mid-month sell-off saw it just under $18. The gold to silver ratio ended at 95. 95 to 1. That is insane. So now we have a little bit of context to what happened July and August. Now it kind of can allow us to put things in perspective of what just happened. So the Perth Mint sold 88,554 ounces of gold, which was around, what was it, 84,000? Yep, 84,000 or 85,000 last month. And then a 5-year high of 2,579,941 ounces of silver. So from August to September, I mean, sales have been booming for the Perth Mint, right? Dropped dramatically from July to August, and then all of a sudden, August to September, it's like sales came right back tenfold. So Perth Mint's depositories total gold holdings decreased 0.42%, increased by 0.008%. So with continued speculation around the FOMC rate hikes, gold slid to a 2.5-year close. Then I do want to see. Okay, the gold to silver ratio is 87 to 1. What was it in July actually? Oh yeah. Oh, 87. So July to September, very similar situations. They sold 2.5 million ounces of silver, almost 80,000 of gold. You can see very similar to last month, 2.5 million ounces. I mean, almost 90,000 ounces in gold, but gold to silver ratio 87 to 1 in July. It was also 87 to 1. So it looks like just last month, August, was a very weird month for sales for the Perth Mint. But anyways, when we're looking at these mints, you got to take in consideration, a lot of people are moving to generics as well. I mean, I can't even imagine. Well, okay, so actually, this is why I said the silver market is so weird right now, because previously when I've been making silver stacking videos since 2015, it was very black and white, very black and white. If you're a beginner and if you just want to buy silver, buy generics and eagles, right? Maybe some maple leaves, right? Coins where design stays the same. If it is a coin, if it's around, just buy it. Very close spot price. Maples and eagles as well. But nowadays, we have this situation where it's like buy generics, but you might not want to buy generics because we're looking at an entirely different beast in play. But if you are going to buy generics, you can't incorporate that with eagles and maples anymore, because eagles, especially the premiums, are so high. So if you're going to buy coins, you might want to buy something like the kangaroo, or it's we're in a very weird spot. So it's not as much, it's not having to do as much with being a core silver stacker, but also speculating on what you think what's going to happen in the economy, even regarding silver confiscation, or if the BRICS nations, and we're heading towards uh, a digital currency backed by physical commodities, which it's looking more and more like that could even be the case. And what would happen? There's so many things going on. For me personally, I don't like to overcomplicate things. I like to just go with what I know and not so much the speculation, which that's, if I were to buy, a lot of silver right now, or not even a lot, if I was to buy, silver right now, I would go with some tubes of Eagles, maybe some Britannias, stuff like that. That's just me. That's just me. I probably wouldn't recommend that for a lot of people, but that's personally what I would like, is tubes of Eagles. I'm sure a lot of people would probably be better off going generics, or generic 10-ounce bars, or yeah, generic 10-ounce bars, maybe. It really does. I don't know. It's up to everyone. Everyone is so individualized. Maybe you have less or more silver than I do. Maybe you have a lot of um, generics. Maybe you have a lot of just really fancy coins. So each person, it depends. Maybe you're not planning on selling for 25 years, and maybe someone else is planning on selling in 5 years. So what works for me won't work for you, and vice versa. Regardless, though, these are the sales reports from Perth Mint. Um, I'm curious. I mean, the U.S. Mint isn't even selling Eagles anymore, right? They can't even have a sales report because they cut off everyone from buying from them publicly. Like, it's so crazy. And things are, and this is like what I've been talking about for months, is like something big is going to happen with the US Mint. And it happened. And imagine what their sales report's going to be for October, since this was the month that the U.S. Mint cut off everyone, right? You could still purchase from the U.S. Mint in, during the September sales report. So October, I'm sure even more people dumped into, kookaburras and kangaroo, stuff from the Perth Mint. So I'm sure that's going to give a lot of give a lot of custom a nice customer base to Perth Mint and the Royal Mint. These mints that maybe were getting outplayed from the U.S. Mint. So a lot of different things are going to be happening very soon. All I know is just keep turning fake money into real money, and you are going to be okay. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. Make sure you subscribe. Go enter my giveaway. I'm picking the winner on Wednesday or Thursday. You don't want to miss it. May the luckiest stacker win. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.